This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Now, look, the academic campus in the United States, just so much diversity, so much inclusiveness. So when you wrote an article for The Federalist defending Israel's right to annex the West Bank, you ran into that inclusiveness and diversity, didn't you?
I did, and Jamie, I prefer to use the word Judea and Samaria. I know that the West Bank is a common coinage in today's world, but I prefer to use Judea and Samaria. But I did write that article, and the response was horrific. It was I don't want to use this as a kind of platform as a sob story because I'm no victim, but the Students for Justice in Palestine and the college Democrats and the Young Socialists and Students Against Incarceration banded together along with the acting provost and the faculty council and issued a censure against me. The president decided not to censure me. But in that censure and in that resolution, I was called a racist, someone who was advocating genocide and a war criminal, and painted in the most heinous of terms because I defended Prime Minister Netanyahu's right to annex land which properly belongs to Israel. And I painted out in that article why I thought that in 1967 Israel fought a defensive war among a set of thuggish nations, including Jordan, and it should really have annexed the land as soon as it had seized it, But
Dr. Hill, the leftists also distributed all these leaflets with your picture actually on it, and they were, libeling you and slandering you in many vicious ways. You didn't even feel safe. If I'm correct, you had to have a bodyguard for a while?
I had to have police escort for about a month.
This is on an academic campus.
This is on an academic campus, and I was accused. The defamatory claims against my character, the libelous and slanderous claims, they've created something like a database so that any student, I think, who registers for my classes will see the resolutions passed against me with a warning that I'm a racist, that I'm a xenophobe, that I'm a sexist. And so they have also led a boycott. I've had 2 of my classes boycotted because these Students for Justice in Palestine, which is really a surrogate for Hamas on campus. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah, Dr. Hill, you would think that Jewish students, now of course we know there are some brave ones and conservative ones, we got that. But in terms of leftist Jews, you would think that the Jewish students on campus, who you are actually standing up for, because as we know, the Hamas Charter doesn't just want the extermination of Israelis, they want extermination of Jews all over the world. You would think that the Jewish students would have stood up for you. What happened in terms of even most leftist Jewish students?
Well, they turned against me and they sided with the Students for Justice in Palestine because and I cannot emphasize this more, one thing I have learned since April, since the publication of that article, is how many leftist Jewish organizations, not just students, are passionately, and I use the word passionately and vehemently, committed to the obliteration of Israel.
Sorry to interrupt, but it's such a twisted psychology, so there's some kind of a self-hatred and a yearning to shed themselves of who they are or of their own Judaism here?
It's more than that. It's the fact that they have been seduced by the people who call themselves Palestinians. Let's be clear about that. Most of them are Jordanian Arabs. The people who call themselves Palestinians have seduced these students into thinking that they are victims, that they are the victims of a genocidal apartheid state called Israel. And I do not for 1 minute think that these Jewish organizations on the left or these students are blinded. I think they have bought into a cult of nihilism, of relativism, a cult of death. And I think that their own desire to belong to the group that at this moment on campus wields so much power, which is the Palestinian Students for Justice and the Palestinian students, that this has superseded logic on their part.
Thank you, Dr. Hill. Just incredible. The brown shirts and these Maoist red guards, what's happening on our campus now. Now, let me get this on our campuses now. Let me get this straight, because I read about what was happening to you there. Am I correct that a black university professor, that they had demanded that this black university professor take a racial sensitivity training workshop?
Yes, they did. And I steadfastly refused. I won't do it, and I'll never do it.
So what do you think would even be happening in that workshop? What would they be teaching you?
Well, it would be, let's make no mistake about it. I want your viewers to understand this. The workshop would be headed by the Palestinian Students for Justice, or by Palestinians, who would give me a good dose of what they think I'm lacking in, which is a history of Israel, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and that the land really belongs to Palestinians. Right. It would be nothing but brainwashing, really.
So Dr. Hill, you faced so much libel, slander, defamation of your character. Your life was in jeopardy. You had to have a security guard. And the university's acting provost did what?
She censored me. In no uncertain terms, she issued a letter of condemnation saying that I had abused my academic freedom, that I was a purveyor, something on the order of hatred, that I had maligned students, but more importantly, that she was proud of the way the students and the faculty had reacted to me, which means she was proud of them taking over buildings, distributing thousands of leaflets, calling for them to dump me, which in some cases could mean dump my body, and to have me fired. And that's what she approved of.